even Colombian guerrilla groups around the western border, and of
Right,
course,
FARC.
the
Mhm.
US Navy, and that naval group is still off Venezuela's northern shores. Who's in charge as of today, Monday, and what is the risk of this actually destabilizing?
They call the people who follow Maduro, who were the political heirs of the Hugo Chavez
Mm.
era of radical socialist capitalist warlording, right? That hybrid, get rid of the socialist capitalist, the radical warlording, right? And Hugo Chavez, his followers are known as Chavistas, and everyone who follows Maduro are Chavistas. The government has now been left in place with the vice president, who is a lead Chavista. The minister of defense, Chavista. The minister, Chavista. So here's what's happened. Nicolas Maduro left Venezuela. That's it. Nothing else has changed. The relationships, I mean, they are all taking this defiant tone. Maduro's our president. Please return him. That's what you would do when you've turned your buddy in and you now have the reins of power. So nothing has changed. Trump has somehow got it into his head that he has been assured that they will do whatever he wants, or he could just drop more bombs and that would change the dynamic. That's not true. They could resist at the water's edge. They could, rig the oil fields to blow up, even though it's in their interest. Just in the last 24 hours or 48 hours, every one of the sanction breaking tankers that were in that country, 14 right now, are moving and they are heading out to the high seas, turning off their locator beacons, and they are duping the US Navy. And they're probably, the bulk of them will get away with their oil loads. And there are 88 other sanctioned vessels around the world that were associated with Russia and Iran and Venezuelan oil that will do that. Another that will get away. Another component of this is a lot of that oil went to Cuba. And this is where Cuba gained resources. Right now, that oil will have to come from Russia to Cuba if they want to sustain themselves. And this may have been block number one to get to block number two, which is the overthrow of the government in Cuba. And Marco Rubio and Donald Trump yesterday said Cuba's next. If that's the case, now I think we've been here before. It was called the Spanish American War, right? It was started on a false flag operation, an accident that occurred in the USS Maine's boiler system, and we took over Cuba and the Philippines, fighting Spain in that way. And it lasted right up until the communists kicked us out in the 1950s. Please go refer to The Godfather 2 if you'd like the details of that, right? Which was the Batista government, a corrupt capitalist government run on drugs, gambling, and rum. That's what Donald Trump is saying they want to reinstall back into Cuba. The Cuban people have something to say about this too. Many will go along with it. But the political aspect of this shows a president who said Panama could be next. Right? He has a fantasy that Venezuela was full of Chinese troops and Chinese ships. He says the same thing about Panama. He threatened Greenland, where I'm going back to, because that is most likely the lowest hanging fruit. For him to try to seize Greenland from Denmark, which would start in NATO versus United States war, or as I told the one of the senior principals in Denmark, the first Danish-American war. And Denmark has put troops and weapons there since I was there. But now they are full of themselves. If you listen to them in the news, that they can do any damn thing they want in the Western Hemisphere. This is madness. And right now, because there is no Congress to control them, there's a Duma, right? A Russian state like government that just rubber stamps everything, a Politburo that rubber stamps anything Trump does. But people will start dying soon if we execute any of these ridiculous fantasies. Actually, when you and I spoke about Greenland, there's 50,000 people there. There are 30,000 high caliber silenced caribou hunting rifles there of 300 Win Mag or higher. I mean, these guys, you think these people won't defend their sovereignty, and somebody will pull the full avatar on you, right? Will stand up against you, on you, right? Will stand up against you. And you think that they're a bunch of peace loving you, and you think that they're a bunch of peace loving hippies, or they're Cubanos who are just going to roll over and say, "Yay, we can all go to Miami." This could get very, very nasty.
Mm. And it's not even clear if this is quite yet mission successful in Venezuela, is it? I mean, over the weekend, Trump announced that there was going to be a U.S. occupation of Venezuela. Marco Rubio since walked that back, but there does, as you say, seem to be this plan to somehow take control. And the U.S. military snatch and grab an entire oil industry. I mean, where does this go
Well,
next?
let's give Trump credit for one time being accurate with his words. Okay, and this is, just mark it down on a calendar because this is rare. He said, "We will run Venezuela." He did not say we will occupy Venezuela. Now, full disclosure, been there on the occupied and run a country thing when I was at the, Republican Palace in Baghdad on, with L. Paul Bremer trying to run